Okay. Here we go. Are you gonna introduce?
Hey people, this is my sister Laura.
Hey, this is my sister Jean. We're the Reclamation Sisters, and today we're gonna talk about sober supports.
What you know about them?
Friends who are sober. Does it have to be somebody who's never used, or can it be somebody who is also, gone through the program and is clean? And does it matter?
So sober supports being people who support you in being clean and sober and moving your life forward. Whatever you're recovering from, you can have a support and need support. And so it's not just limited to drugs or alcohol. It's recovering from life and so many things. And a sober support being somebody who supports you being sober, but can also be a person from a program or activity that has gone through and changed their life on their own. Because ultimately, we look to people to support us who've accomplished something that we see their success, and we want them to teach us also ways to navigate our life. Support being family, friends, but also bringing new people in to support us because they've gone through something. So I don't think we want to limit it to just people in a program. We want to look at it as people who support us being our best version of ourselves, because that's ultimately what recovery is.
So I know that you have had some great friends forever who've always been healthy and clean and sober, and who've been there the whole time. And so you've had that. But maybe there are some people who the only people really they have in their lives are people who are struggling with addiction. So how do people who don't have any existing clean friends to rely on, how do you go about getting those supports if you don't have those people in your life?
So a lot of times we encourage people from the treatment aspect to participate in a fellowship, and that's traditionally AA, NA, but these programs have morphed. There's over 150 programs that end in A. That are a 12-step style program. Okay. But there are also programs that are faith-based or nutrition or holistic-based or spiritual in their nature. And you have to look at what is it you're trying to accomplish and what are you trying to heal from, and then engage in things. There's also peer supports. Those are people who have gone through substance abuse, alcoholism, or have conquered and overcome a path of mental illness or struggles mentally. And they become certified through the state after being educated, and they can also provide support. You need to layer different types of support. Have your family be a support, have your good friends be supportive, bring in new people that are also engaged in the same path to wellness you are, bringing in people who don't give you the feedback that somebody from a fellowship would, but give you feedback based on what's worked or won't work for them and how to navigate recovery in general, whatever you're recovering from. So in my experience, they were traditionally was, you just went to a meeting, but until you really understand what a meeting is and are vulnerable enough and have the courage to say, hey, this is maybe my first time here, or I don't have anybody, and what you said during the meeting really struck a chord or sparked with me, and say, I'm looking to build supports. A lot of people are like, oh, you just need to go and find a sponsor. Well, you need to get to know people, and that requires you saying, hey, I need help. It's that willingness and openness to engage. So
is that one of the steps, to be able to say, I need help,
we admit we're powerless.
Okay.
Yeah, we admit we're powerless over drugs and alcohol or whatever the situation is, whatever the A you're participating in. But it's also understanding that person may have a different substance. Yeah, it's not limited to just, I need to find somebody who used my drug of choice. It's, I need to find somebody who's willing to be an active participant in my life, and I must actively participate in that relationship. And so I had previously done sober support, programs, but never really understood it until this last round where I was enmeshed in it. And I went to a meeting almost every day, sometimes twice a day. There was not any escape from the idea that we had to find something to provide us people outside of our immediate life.
My mom still talks about some of those people, how important they are, and
they are.
what they have done for her, even, still being in touch today. 8 years after this cycle started. So they can be people that might surprise you that you never otherwise would have known or encountered, but can be literally lifesavers.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have great friends from growing up that have always supported me, Kelly and Judy and that whole group of guys that we hung out with. But I also have people from the recovery process, Peggy and Mariana and Karan and Lisa and Stephanie, who was my roommate, and like this whole group of people who just support what it is you're trying to overcome, even if it's not something that they are dealing with. They're empathic to it because they also understand they're overcoming, and they also need people to support. And so it's just finding common ground and having somebody to talk through things with, hold you accountable to your mission of what you're trying to accomplish, and are non-judgmental. They're open-minded in what you say and help you find the truth and stand in your truth. And I think that's what's really important. It's what we explain. You get to choose like a second family who you love, and they love you because you're doing what's right for yourself. And so I feel like I absolutely have a second family. My Harrisburg, Sealands Grove people, the people that I went through treatment with and that continued on that path, and who were also participants in providing services, just enormous supports. When I lived at the Miracle Group, my friend Kim, she's the one who encouraged me to go back to work and get a job, and also to get my master's. I mean, I wouldn't have done that without somebody being like, yes, you can do this. My friend Jeff, who I worked for, still a support. I just cannot imagine my life at that point without those people. So I think you have to understand that you have to be open to say, I need help. I remember when I met my sponsor, I knew right then, that's my girl. Like, that's my lady.
Karan, is that what
Karan with her orange lipstick and her big purse sitting there and her big Shaka Khan fur vest. And I was like,
it's so her. It's so Jean.
and she, I was listening to somebody and I was like, well, they need to just knock it off. And she was like, excuse me, excuse me, young man. And I was like, those are my people. And I walked up to her and she was like, I was like, hi. And she was like, I can pick you up Sunday. I mean, she knew, I was desperately looking for somebody. And she, to this day, I mean, she and her family are my family. They call me Aunt Jean.
I would suspect it's often not some of the immediate family members, because I don't know what the investment is different. It wasn't me, and I'm your family.
Right.
It wasn't me. And so there's a million reasons why it wasn't me. But that doesn't mean you have nobody. Then you have to find somebody different. Like, yes, you always had mom and dad, but that's different. Like, that's not It's just different. So you need to find friend supports or peer supports.
So we do this through going to meetings, through going to programming, peer-to-peer supports, engaging in classes, going back to school, getting a job where healthy people are working.
Yeah, I worked not at a bar.
Right. When I worked at bars for years, but then what did I do? I ran a second care lawn company, and then I worked at the health food store and met my friend Nancy and Tracy, who have been just tremendous additions to my life and taught me so much. So it's just about bringing on people that make your life better for so many different reasons. You can do that a couple different ways. A lot of towns are small and don't have a lot of meetings. And so there's online meetings, especially in the shifting culture that we live. There's a lot of digital content for supports. There's Clean, Sober, Saved, which is a spiritual-based program, the 12 Steps. You also have a Life Ring and Celebrate Recovery, which are, church-based programs. But you also have programs that are just for components, and it's Smart Recovery, and it's about shifting your distorted thinking and taking ownership of it. There's no steps. There's also, going to book club, going to church, participating in some sort of program where you're learning something different. There's a great opportunity, which I found just because I was trying to figure some stuff out for a client. I found in therooms.com, which I'm surprised not everybody teaches in substance abuse, but it's an online program. You can also put an app on your phone and you choose the fellowship, and they have sex and love addicts, self-cutters, if you're participating in medicated assisted treatment, if you just smoke cannabis, they have a meeting for people who just use cannabis, or Overeaters Anonymous, or anything like that, where it's not just AA or NA. There's an enormous amount of programming available, and they have online meetings, and if you log on, there's a tab that says video meetings, and every day from midnight to midnight, there is a schedule of meetings that on demand you can just, 7:00, I'm home, I don't have a babysitter, I can hit a button and participate. And there's a monitor of the meeting and person who navigates the content, and all the readings are there. And so you can always have a meeting, and you can actually have those meeting slips sent if you need it for an outside obligation to show that you're participating, which often happens. Cool. But then there's also sober radio and blogging, and you can listen to speaker jams and conventions tapes and things
made up word.
My made up word, yeah. So there's a way to engage in, gain insight into that process, but it allows you to put your zip code in, your fellowship, how far out you want to go, and it will give you all the people in your area that are otherwise engaged in becoming well. And so
so it's not anonymous?
No. It's kind of like if you merged MySpace and Facebook original, like when there was Facebook with Tom, and you put them together, it would be like that. So you can have a page where people post and you share and you make friends and they can share stuff and you celebrate anniversaries and you can post anything just like a social media platform, but it also has resources for everywhere in the United States. Wow. There's people from all over the world. There's treatment options, programming. I like to call it the Craigslist of options for people in recovery. If you want to sell jewelry, you can do that. If you need a handyman, you want somebody who's clean, you can do that, and things like that. But they also have groups. If you were like a blue troll missing an arm that collected John Deere tractors and rode Harleys, you're I'm alone. I need to isolate. There's nobody out there like me. Well, guess what? There's an entire group of people, and they're like, hey, welcome. And we're going to talk about, whatever Harley you have things, and your blue skin. So you're never alone in recovery because there's somebody just like you. And that's what the empathy part of it is. It's me too. We talk about that all the time. Me too. Mm-hmm. So you can join groups and have conversations like, oh, hey, I'm a single mother, or I'm a nurse, or I am in school. I'm struggling with this concept, or I'm working my fourth step and I don't know what I'm doing. There is a group of people that will navigate you through. And from that, you can then find people in your zip code.
Wow.
And so you can build support, get rides to meetings, do meetings online, and do whatever it is you need to build that sober support. So sober support's being also important for family members or support groups for family members. And on that platform, intherooms.com, is Al-Anon and Nar-Anon, which is an alcohol and a narcotics-based program for people who have people in their life who are addicted.
I've heard that the AA and Al-Anon, and it sounds like it should be the same thing, like Alcoholics Anonymous and AA, but I didn't know what the difference was.
So there's also children of alcoholics. So if you were raised by an alcoholic, there's support, and people will support you in that process of overcoming sort of the things that you were ingrained in, and the trauma and the things that you were ingrained with. So you can obviously know that there's no meetings for Al-Anon and Nar-Anon in every town. So how do you get that? Well, you log on and then you find this meeting is available to you at certain times, and you set a reminder and you go to a meeting from the comfort of your home.
And I will add, I'm a librarian, that if you need help finding any of that, if you're not comfortable, it's free. Everything at the public library is free. That reference librarians will help you find all of this stuff. Right. You can just call, and you don't even have to go in. You can call and ask to speak to your reference librarian, and they will help you find those resources, whether it doesn't have to be a book just because it's the library. They will help you find they'll get you the phone number, the website, whatever it is that you need to find the groups that are available in your area, or somewhere close by. So if you don't have access to the resource, like a computer even, or anything like that, to do it on your own, or if you just want some help in finding it, call your local library and ask for your reference librarian, and they can help you as well.
And I think that it's important to know that you can always go to any of the 12-step organizations. Examples would be aa.org, na.org, and punch in, your area, and it will navigate. There's always phone numbers if you need somebody to talk to kind of navigate the process of meetings. Every state has a drug and alcohol agency. Pennsylvania's is DDAP, Department of Drug and Alcohol Prevention. They have a 1-800 number, which we're going to list for you guys, right?
Yeah, so on our website, we have a page for resources. So if you go to reclamationsisters.com, there's the resources page, and we'll list a bunch of stuff there to help you.
Yeah, so it's just important to be courageous enough to go outside your comfort zone, stand in your truth, and ask for help. Because if we don't address those issues and find people to support us, then we often backpedal, or we find relapse or other addiction and crisis in navigating our own life and moving forward. So sober supports are the thing that shifted my life. I'm blessed with an enormous amount of people who have showed up and guided me to a different place where I'm truly happy. And so we're hoping that you're willing to do that too.
Yep. Find somebody, because you can't do it alone.
But I got her too.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
Oh, that's great. You can see how not light my teeth are.
Listen, mine are worse. Like a
Coffee!
beaver. You were like,
Watch out there, Luna.
Luna Baluna.
Okay.
Back it up.
Hi, sweet girl.
Lay down.
I can't.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Okay. Sit.
Aw.
I know.
Aw.
I know. I love you.
Aw.
Oh. Not to bite you. I bite.
Aw.
Hello. Hello. See, Liza has all the hairs. I know. Mom, I bite her. I got bite by a shark. I go, come on up, lead it to your foot. Arr, I said shark in the water, and I say, no.